All right. So we're able to transform our different elements, making them larger or smaller, and then repositioning them using our move tool, right? So here's that color blur. I moved that. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was layer effects, right? So Photoshop, it's known for a lot of like layering and transparency. Some of like the photo manipulations involve kind of exploring those different elements, right? So I'm gonna turn a couple of my layers off so I can just kind of focus on certain elements. But I'm going to have my little Carabao guy as my base layer, right at the bottom at the moment. If you look here, this is our layer effects list, right? I'm going to keep him at normal so you can kind of see what happens to him. All these other layers above him, we're going to actually start applying a layer effect. So one of these, and you'll see what happens, okay? So it's a little random. So it's almost like you have to kind of experiment. But so like for this text image, if I go through, I'm just going through the list kind of slowly, you can see that the overlapping, right, depending on what that layer effect is, it will do something different. It will apply itself differently to that bottom layer. And so you can kind of see it's a very wide variety. So I'm going to keep this color dodge one. Okay. I can continually layer on top of my image, right? And this is kind of like maybe how people get texture, right, in their artwork or their digital images. It's really kind of a fun process. So if you think about it, that base layer that you have, right, that could be your primary visual, and then you're kind of enhancing it with something above it, right? It could be another drawing, another photograph, another element that you can use to kind of layer it. And you can obviously, as you see here, you can get different effects almost instantly. Okay, I'll keep that one. And I don't know if I want this color. I'm going to put this color, and I'm going to actually make that color, I think, a little bit bigger. Okay, and anything on a layer, you can impose a layer effect, right? Kind of see the subtle changes. So I'm gonna kind of keep that. And what we can add is you also have a type text type layer. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to typing, but my text is white. So I'll go here. Okay. Hello. And you can adjust the type similar to your different programs. Oops. Command Z, the undo function, it applies here too, thankfully. Okay, so I'm going to, here's my text box. I think I'll keep hello. I can also transform. I can basically transform anything. So I'll go to edit, free transform. This is my text box. So I'm gonna kind of tilt it. I'm gonna make it bigger. Oh. Hit return. All right. And I can do a layer effect, but I also changed the opacity, okay, of this layer. So at 100% opacity, that means it's fully opaque, right? It is 100% not see-through. But in Photoshop, I can actually adjust that. So this is another way that I can layer, right? Could be subtle. So thinking of, your visual hierarchy, or what do you want to read first? What do you want to read second? So you can actually change the opacity of your different elements. Now, again, everything in Photoshop, as it's in these layers, you can move it around up until the point that you're going to save, right? So if I wanted to, I'm like, oh, you know what, instead of my little carabao, I'm going to use this carving layer instead, right? Let's say, or I can, figure it out like, do I want that or not? Do you want to try and experiment with a new layer? You can. But I just wanted to show you the potential, right, of the possibilities of your new layer, right? And you can even try this. So I have everything as it is, right? So we see our composition. And let's say I put this carving layer right on top. I can see and experiment, right, with what these layer effects, like what this layer effect can do to my image, right? And I can combine it with, here's my layer effect for that. And I kind of like how there's this texture in my hello now, but I can also change the opacity of it, right? So the possibilities are endless. Like, you can move things around, you can change everything to your liking until you think, okay, I think I like it. All right, so I think I actually like that. I'm going to save it. So file save, right? I did my key command S. And we have our layered file, which is this. You can see it has all of our layers. Well, for us to upload it to Canvas and not break Canvas with all of our layered files, we're going to save this out as a flat image. And that flat image is actually a JPEG. So you have your layered file, you're going to keep the layered file so you can continually adjust, if you change your mind. And then when you get to this point, like I want that to be one of my mini collages that I'm going to submit. Okay. You're going to go to File, Save As. Okay. It's going to pop up this window and you're going to go to, then you're going to go to this window and you're going to go Save a Copy. Okay. And saving the copy opens up more file formats. And so you can do a JPEG. Okay. For your file name, since you're going to have 3 collages, or yeah, 3 collages, I'm going to name this one, keep the name C. Ellis Collage, October 13th, and then I'm just going to put the number, I'll do underscore, okay, 1, and I'll hit save. For the JPEG options, it's going to give us, this window. You can go up to 12 as the maximum, but to keep it like a relatively smallish but good quality file size, I would say maybe like you can go to 10 or you can even go to 8. It really affects the file size, right? How big your file is that you're saving. You can kind of see a little preview of it, like depending on your file capacity. I can go to high, right? Quality is 8, it's like 675K. It's not bad. And I'm going to click OK. Right? So that is one of my collages. So you're going to, there's a lot of tools to explore. So you're going to create 3 different collages. So they'll kind of, if you want, you can have one file, one layered file that has a bunch of different images of yours or photographs. You can copy and paste them into, that one Photoshop file, as long as it looks different. So you can kind of experiment with the Photoshop tools, right? Transforming it, working with the different layers, kind of see, you might have the same kind of set of images, but you can produce very different things, right? With the same object, just certain things are more visible, like changing the overlap, the elements that are overlapping can actually do a lot. So, in just kind of talking and like playing around with these different elements, right? You can kind of see that I've been able to create a totally different composition. So depending on how you approach it, there's kind of a lot of pattern here going on, but you can simplify it. You know, you can make things larger or smaller. I'm just kind of showing you some of the possibilities, right? So if I liked this one, right, or I have a different image that I want to use, I can add it to here add it to my layered file. Play around with the opacity and the layer effects, and it can become my second collage, right? So I'm going to go save as again. I think I actually think I do like that one. And then I'll save as. I'll go to save a copy. Go to JPEG, right? I'm going to follow my little naming system, _2. Save, keep that, and save. So now I've got two. I'll open them up. Got my two different collages and my layered file here, right? So you can kind of see. I'll do this. I think maybe my next one will be a little bit more simple, a lot more white space. But it's that layering of these elements that you're playing around with. So, you know, have fun with it. Don't forget, try and use your own images, use my own images. You can draw, take a picture, you can take your photos, like take different photos from your camera roll, see what that produces, and then you'll upload your 3 JPEGs to Canvas. Okay? So have fun. I know it's a new program, but I think if you just kind of take it step by step, it'll be very fun for you to explore. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Okay?